Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Patches Rants. This one's going to be about something I've been seeing a lot going on well, especially Facebook lately, but also on YouTube, on Twitter, on things like that, where bands get compared and you have to pick which is the best band, or which is the best singer, or which is the best guitarist, etc., etc. Everyone has probably seen something like this already on their newsfeed. And personally, I quite like these kinds of competitions and ways to compare bands and to decide the all-time winner and things like that. I've actually made one of these contests myself for a page I'm an admin on at Facebook. It's called Motherfokers. And we made this, I made this competition of just putting bands together that had anything to do with folk metal, but I also put in the description, like, there's gotta be some black metal, because Borzum and Bathory have a lot to do with Vikings and Viking cult, and Amon Amarth, for instance, is not folk metal, it's death metal, but still it fits with the entire folk kind of thing, and I made this competition, and at first it was all good and fun, but at some point people just started bitching for the sake of bitching, especially when indeed the Borzum versus Bathory round was there. There was like this entire list of people going completely nuts with this competition is complete shit because Borzum and Bathory aren't folk metal. To which I responded with half of the bands in this list are not folk metal, but they're still, for you they're still acceptable, right? So why is Borzum and Bathory not acceptable? Well, they had this entire bullshit argument about black metal not having anything to do with folk metal, which on its own is also a very odd statement because they are linked like one-on-one with each other. But aside from that whole thing, the thing that bothers me is that with metal and with metal heads, there's always some kind of discussion. There's always this thing where we just have to disagree for the sake of disagreeing without really having any, explainable reasons for it. And I guess what people need to realize a bit more is that most things are intended for fun. And that's pretty hard to understand for some people, sadly, but like the contest, for example, was just and only meant for one thing: having a little bit of fun. Just putting it all together, throwing it on the page and seeing what would happen. And if I read through most of the comments, people were actually having fun. They were routing for a certain band, or they were predicting who would be in the finals, and it was cool to see how people reacted to it, and people started sharing it, and they were like tagging different people, like, dude, you gotta vote on this one, and playfully getting mad at each other, like, oh man, it's a shitty decision you made, but all in good fun, in a fun way. And then there's always this gloomy asshole who has to be there, like, yeah, music is not a competition. Well, fuck you, man, we're just having fun, It's not like we're trying to decide an all-time winner, who is the best metal band that has ever lived, and it's not like these bands need the promotion or anything, so it's not meant for any physical value. There's no money involved, there are no sales involved, and some people just tend to take it way too seriously and way too out of hand, like it's some sort of sacred thing that you cannot claim that any band is better than another band because that's insulting or that's whatever. No, it's just sharing opinions, and like I said a billion times already, it's for fun. That's not that hard to understand, so why do people still have to make such a big deal out of it? And aside from all the people taking it too serious, there's also the bunch of people who cannot even dare to answer. And another thing, I think, a very important thing that people tend to forget in these kind of competitions or just in normal conversations wherever, is that you're trying to state an opinion. I don't believe there is anyone serious in this world who is going to claim that he knows which exactly is the best band. and which band exactly is the worst band. And I don't think there are a lot of people who even think you can factually say that a band is great or a band is shitty, because that is always an opinion. That's never a fact. You cannot say for a fact that something is more fun to listen to than something else, because that will always be something that's part of you and it's not going to be part of other people. And the person who said this the best and the clearest is by far Infidel Amsterdam, and this is what he said on it.
I posted, I've seen the new video of Cattle Decapitation, the band sucks, and I think their video sucks even more. There. That is about what I said. From that moment on, a complete shitstorm with a lot of butthurt people came to my status and were complaining and making sure that this was my opinion. And I went like, I really don't have to put every time in front of a status, I think it sucks. If I say it sucks, that means I think this shit sucks. That's it.
Now, of course, I had to cut a bit in this video so it wouldn't be 16 minutes of Infidel Amsterdam talking and 5 minutes of me talking. So I'm gonna post a link, well, anywhere, to his official video where he talks about this and a lot of other stuff that, well, usually most things Infidel Amsterdam says I pretty much agree on. And this is a very clear example of that. So the basic message of this video, and probably of his video, is that people should stop just taking every single thing so goddamn seriously, and especially when it comes to declaring your preferences in metal, or stating what bands you like and what bands you don't like, who is the best singer, who is the worst singer, etc, etc. I remember reading an article about Ronnie James Dio, and it was like, I think it was a few days or a few weeks after he'd passed away, and I went on a holiday, and always when I go on holiday I buy a few magazines just to have something to do there, like on the beach, just read some stuff. And there was this article on Ronnie James Dio, and I think the headline was something along the lines of the best singer of heavy metal, or the greatest man of heavy metal, or something in that general direction. At least it was making a pretty big statement. And with statements like this, it's not meant to make any other artist seem less important or less good, and it's not meant to degrade anyone. It's meant to make a statement just and only about him. If I'm gonna say about anything this is the greatest, then I mean it's fucking amazing. It's not factually the greatest thing ever. It's just something that's really, really fucking cool. And if anyone on a band contest is going to say, for instance, Winter Sun is a better band than Tear, then that's an opinion. That's just a loose statement. It doesn't mean that those people hate Tear. It doesn't mean that those people worship Winter Sun. It just means that they make a choice, a opinion-based choice, very easy, nothing too goddamn important to them or to anyone else in the world, and it shouldn't be taken like that either. It should just be about, like I said, the fun of the competition, or the fun of talking about your preferred band. And as it always goes with these kind of videos, I don't really have the time to completely finish my story, but just as the whole poser thing, this rant is also gonna have a follow-up, because band contests in its own are a gigantic world that I have a lot to say about, and this definitely won't be the last video, but for now I think I'm gonna leave it at this. I'm really curious as to what you all think, so please just leave me a comment with your thoughts on this. Now, a big thank you and a massive shout out to Infidel Amsterdam. If you haven't already, though, I'm pretty sure everyone knows Infidel Amsterdam by now. If you haven't already checked his videos, go check him out. I'll put a link to his channel in the description below, and I will see you all next time again.